You know the Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 as one of the most legendary muscle cars of all time. But have you forgotten some of the fascinating details about this iconic performance machine? In this video, we're going to revisit 8 little-known facts about the Chevelle SS 454 that even hardcore fans may have overlooked. From its original pricing to its racing pedigree, there are some surprises in store. Number 8. It sat above the Camaro in the lineup. You probably know the Chevrolet Chevelle as one of the most iconic muscle cars of the 1960s and 70s. But did you realize that this high-performance coupe actually shared its underlying platform with several other legendary GM models? That's right. The big, bold Chevelle was built on the same basic architecture as the Oldsmobile Cutlass, Pontiac GTO, and even the Buick Skylark. While the Camaro was considered more of a pony car, the Chevelle was a full-fat muscle machine through and through. In fact, the Chevelle's flexible platform was even used for the El Camino pickup truck. Now you may be wondering, how could a muscle car and a truck like El Camino be so similar? Well, the answer lies in the shared underpinnings. The El Camino was nearly identical to the Chevelle in terms of its drivetrain and body, with the only major difference being the bed replacing the rear of the vehicle. But here's where things get really interesting. Even though the El Camino had the same engine options as the high-performance Chevelle, the truck's powertrains were actually detuned a bit for improved durability and longevity. Talk about getting the best of both worlds. So what do you think? Did you know about the Chevelle's shared platform legacy? And how do you think that affected the model's development and performance over the years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 7. It had a huge engine. It should come as no surprise that the legendary Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 packed a seriously massive engine under the hood. But the full scope of the Chevelle's powertrain lineup over the years is actually quite fascinating. In the first-generation Chevelle models, the engine options were more limited, topping out at a relatively modest 6.5-liter V8. This was due to GM's internal engine size restrictions at the time. However, when the second-generation Chevelle arrived, the floodgates opened in terms of big block muscle. The second-gen Chevelle could be equipped with huge 6.6, 7.0, and even 7.4-liter V8 engines, some of the largest and most powerful available in the muscle car class. The 7.4-liter V8, better known as the 454 cubic inch engine, was the undisputed king of the lineup. In standard form, it produced a staggering 360 horsepower. But Chevrolet didn't stop there. They also offered a high-performance package for the 454 V8 that included a cowl induction system, further boosting the output to deliver one of the highest horsepower figures in the Chevelle's class. Interestingly, the horsepower numbers didn't change much throughout the second-generation Chevelle's production run, as Chevy had seemingly unlocked the full potential of these massive mills. While the sheer size of the Chevelle SS 454's engine may seem obvious, the depth and evolution of the Chevelle's powertrain lineup is a fascinating part of its muscle car legacy. Number 6. It had an optional performance package. Now, you already know the Chevelle SS 454 packed a serious punch with its standard 360 horsepower. But hold on to your seat, because Chevy had an even more insane version of this muscle car up their sleeve. What if I told you there was an optional performance package called the RPO Z15 that could boost the Chevelle's mighty 7.4-liter V8 all the way up to an earth-shaking 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque? That's right, 450 horses and half a ton of twist, in a mid-size coupe body. Can you even imagine the sheer acceleration and raw power of a Chevelle SS 454 equipped with the Z15 package? Well, you don't have to imagine, because this wasn't some rare mythical beast. Chevy actually offered the Z15 upgrade, making the Chevelle SS 454 one of the most ridiculously powerful cars in the US during the golden age of muscle. In fact, the only other models that could really keep up were the Hemi-powered Dodge Challenger and Plymouth Cuda. But even then, many enthusiasts still argue the Chevelle had a certain je ne sais quoi that made it the coolest of the bunch. So what do you think? If you had the chance to drive a Chevelle SS 454 with the Z15 package, would you be able to handle all that raw, earth-shaking power? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 5. It was available as a sedan. You're probably familiar with the legendary Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 and its fire-breathing big block V8. But did you know the Chevelle platform was actually quite the chameleon? That's right. In addition to the iconic muscle car coupe, Chevy also offered the Chevelle in a more practical four-door sedan body style, known as the Malibu. And while the Malibu may not have gotten the same earth-shaking 454 cubic inch V8, it was still no slouch, packing a healthy 6.6-liter V8 under the hood. But here's where things get really interesting. The Chevelle Malibu didn't just ride the coattails of its muscular sibling. No, this sedan actually went on to outlive the Chevelle nameplate entirely. That's right. In 1978, the Malibu completely replaced the iconic Chevelle, carrying on its legacy in a more modern, streamlined package. You'd think that would be the end of the story. But oh no, the Malibu had one more trick up its sleeve. In 1997, this former muscle car heir apparent underwent a shocking transformation, ditching its rear-wheel drive roots for a more efficient front-wheel drive layout. Gone were the big, powerful V6 and V8 engines, replaced by more modest inline 3 and inline 4 power plants. It was a far cry from the Malibu's muscular Chevelle origins. The question is, can you even call this modern sedan a true descendant of the legendary Chevelle line? Number 4. It was the successor to the Bel Air. When you think about iconic American cars, it's hard to top the legendary Chevrolet Bel Air, am I right? For decades, this big, luxurious cruiser set the standard for power, comfort, and style. But as the muscle car craze of the 60s and 70s really took off, Chevy knew they needed a new model to carry on the Bel Air's proud tradition. Enter the Chevelle, a big, bold car that shared a lot of DNA with its iconic predecessor. Just like the Bel Air, the Chevelle was one of the largest vehicles Chevy had to offer at the time. It had the size, the space, and all the creature comforts that buyers had come to expect from a premium Chevy ride. But the Chevelle took things to a whole new level. You see, while the Bel Air was more of a luxurious highway cruiser, the Chevelle, especially in high-performance SS 454 guise, was all about raw, unbridled power. This muscle car was built to dominate the horsepower wars that were raging at the time, with its massive 454 cubic inch V8 pumping out up to a staggering 450 horsepower. Talk about leaving the Bel Air in the dust. When it came to sheer unbridled performance, the Chevelle SS 454 was definitely one of the kings of the road during its heyday. It may have shared the Bel Air's